Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this second tutorial video. I'm going to tell you exactly how to make lightweight spacers out of HDPE. It's actually easy enough, but it requires a couple of steps that if you don't have fancy tools are maybe a bit difficult. So to make this a bit challenging for myself as well, I'm going to make spacers using but only the hand tools that I started off with. The Jigsaw and also the power drill that I have. So the first thing that we need to do is, of course, you got your material. In my case, it's 15mm HDPE that I'm going to use. And this is just an offcut, so it's something that was left from a previous build, in this case it's perfect to make spacers out of. It really depends on how thick the shaft is that goes through the spacer. I mean, just to show you an example, if you look closely here, this is a ring which was actually made from a block of this, but it's not particularly difficult, but I'm going to show you how it exactly works. Right, so first thing that we need to do is take this block and we have to drill holes in it. Why do we have to drill holes in it? This is the sort of center hole that revolves around everything. If we do not drill the holes first, it will be a freaking nightmare to drill those holes in later. So the holes that you drill in first are the most important thing. Okay, now we get the power drill out. What you do is that you hold it down like this. Now this provides us with a challenge, because what we need to do now is, using the power drill, we need to drill a dead straight hole through this block of HDPE. Now, normally, of course, nowadays, I would use the pillar drill, but we are not using the pillar drill today. We are using normal basic hand tools. Yeah, because I will concede that if you're starting out, you do not have a pillar drill, or maybe even a vise. So we're going to do this old school today. Let's see how this works out. Okay, so now hopefully you guys will be able to see the drill coming through. The drill is almost, well, it should be perfectly coming through, but let's see if my skills are still up where they should be. Okay, first make a little hole here. Now you can see my face. Hey. And we're going to make sure it's straight, because we don't want ugly spacers. We can see that the workpiece moves, so we're going to clamp it down a little bit more securely. Okay, trying again. Even if the end is not where we want it to be, we can still use the first half, I would say. Clamped it down again. There's a hole going from the right to the left, or from the left to the right, if you are British. And we're going to cut from the middle, down the middle like this, and also cut it off here. Then it will create two pieces of HDPE. Here we go. Okay, so this is after the first cut. We went down the middle. And what we got to do now, we've got the holes here to the side. We got to make sure that the next cut that we make, let me just put this down for you so you can see what I'm talking about. We got to make sure that that next cut, which we are going to make here, like that, that it keeps this hole reasonably in the middle. Also, in case you're wondering, this is a whiteboard marker. These are very handy, simply because you can write down any sort of line and then erase it from the material in question. Alright, so let's have a look where this actually works. You can see, if you look closely, right here, the exit hole. And we're now going to cut it down here. Using a C-clamp, here we go. This has left us with this piece of plastic. It's just a block with a hole down the middle. It's not really particularly exciting. You think, okay, I could actually use this as a spacer if I just make the hole bigger. Yes, that is actually very true. But that looks like shit. So we're not going to do that. So you take this block of HDPE, got the holes going down the side. Take another block. This has been used very thoroughly by my pillar drill. And, well, the only thing that you really need to do is take off those corners. Just make it a little bit of a hexagon or octagon. What is it? I think it is octagon, isn't it? I think, yes. Yes. Okay, it's an octagon. Okay, all right, fair enough. Now, of course, the bigger the hole, the better it is. It really depends on what kind of bolt is going through. You will see. I mean, right here I have this bolt with this particular spacer. It really depends on what kind of bolt is going through. I could actually make a spacer for this very bolt out of this piece of HDPE. We could try and do that. Challenge accepted. So let's see if we can do that. This is an M8 bolt. So naturally that means that we need to have at least 8 millimeters worth of travel, of space, sorry, not of travel, in the middle of this piece of HDPE. So that means that we need to use our drill again. So next step is that we've clamped it down on our workbench yet again. Right here we can see we've got the hole lined up, and now it is time to put the drill to it. There we are, we've got a bigger hole in there now, but now as you can tell it is a little bit uneven. And you can tell, see, we've got lots of material on this side, but not a whole lot on the other side. We want to have that even, and the way to do that is as follows. Now we need a sort of, I was gonna say running axle, maybe it's not the right word for it, but no, this is also not good enough. What you want is a running axle, which is round about the same sort of diameter. This you can clamp down because, of course, it is a hex key. So that is what we are going to be doing. Okay, so what we need to do now is clamp this hex key down. It's a bit easier to do that with a hex key because, of course, a hex key has got flat sides. So that makes things for us a lot easier. Clamping it down such as this. We need to be absolutely certain that it doesn't move. Okay. And then we've got this little thing going on. Whee! Okay. Now, then we take one of these, an angle grinder. You can also use a portable belt sander if you have one. But, you know, I wasn't going to use too complicated tools in this tutorial, so I'm not going to. Now what we do, you will see that the disc spins downward, and we've got this as well. So that means if we turn it on, this will start spinning as well. And as it starts spinning, it removes the material that we don't need. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final product, an HDPE spacer for around an 8 millimeter shaft, just to prove, yes, it indeed fits around that same shaft. You could, of course, make rings out of them if you like. You can make them a little bit thinner as well. It really depends on what you need, but usually just for spacers it is good enough if it is like this. Just to recap a little bit what you need to start off with. Of course, you have your jigsaw, you have your power drill, some C-clamps to hold the material down. If you have a vise, that would be even better. For now, I tried it, of course, to do it without. I will concede that, if you are starting out, you probably don't have an angle grinder, but I do urge you that to get one of these, because, of course, not only can you make spacers with them, such as this, they will also help you make titanium parts. So they are very useful. Yes. But that's all for now. Keep safe and healthy in these trying times, and space out, baby. Yes.